Hey guys, Mike from Single Handed Solutions, and today I wanted to show you guys my favorite hydration bladder. I know there's a lot of them out there on the market. A couple years ago I got to go to the Outdoor Expo in Salt Lake City. It's a lot like SHOT Show for outdoor clothing companies and gear companies like that. And I was invited out there to do some speeches for a nonprofit organization that I volunteer for, which is Rivers of Recovery. Talk about the program and what it does for veterans. I'll talk about that in another video down the road, but I wanted to talk about this bladder. Walking by, I saw this company called Geigerrig, and they came out with this new hydration engine. It's been out for a couple years, but this was the first that I ever heard of it. And it really caught my eye because for someone who only has one hand, this is really easy to use. Ever since losing my arm in 2004, I've had a real hard time using like Camelbacks and a lot of other companies' stuff where you're filling up the water with a screw-on cap up towards the top, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. This is a lot easier. Go into a few things that I really like about it. The first is everything is quick disconnect. You can see down here where the water hose feeds into. You basically just push it in until you hear that audible click and you know you're good to go. Another thing that I really like about this bladder is that it's pressurized, and that's what this hose is for. It actually plugs into the back right here, which I'll actually show you guys after I fill this up with water here in a few minutes. Anybody who's ever been in country, especially humping around in Afghanistan, I was in Iraq, but I've had a lot of guys that were in Afghanistan, and walking around, you're exhausted, you're tired, and you're thirsty as hell, and you're just, it's really hard to suck down water, physically, because you're trying to catch your breath and breathe. Anybody that's also done like adventure races and stuff like that can find it a struggle, or hiking around, hunting, or whatever in the backcountry, and you end up getting that sloshy feeling in your stomach. Well, with this pressurized hydration system, it squirts water in your mouth, so you don't have to suck the water out of the hose. If you choose not to use the pump system, it does still work like a regular hydration bladder where you will suck the water out. It is gravity fed. But with the pressurized system, it could lay in any position. You're still going to get water. It basically has two cells. The first cell obviously holds the water, and there's another cell internally that holds pressurized air. So I'll show you guys how that works, but I wanted to show you how easy this thing is to fill up. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how to fill this thing up with water with only one hand. Make life a little easier, make sure you deflate the bag. I'll show you guys how to do that after I fill this up with water so you can see the difference. And disconnect all the hoses, it makes it a little easier. So we'll go ahead and turn on the water. In order to open this, all you do is slide this little locking bar off. And then you go ahead and unfold it, and it's open. That's basically it. I'm not going to fill this up all the way, but get a good amount of water in here so you guys can see. This is 100 ounces, so it is 3 liters. So you do get a lot of water. Don't mind the messy sink. Hopefully my wife won't be too upset that I'm showing this. That should be enough. Go ahead and pinch that, and I'll turn the water off. Alright. Now, the directions are actually written on it. So basically it says right there, fold towards you. So you go ahead and fold that towards yourself. And then you take the bar, your little sliding bar, grasp on it. It's always fun when you got people watching, you're trying to film it, and then it gets a little difficult. So once you have it lined up and it starts, just slide that sucker on like that, and there you go. All your water's contained. It's that easy. So all your water's contained. Now we're going to come right back over here, connect the hoses. First thing you're going to do, connect the water hose. Hear the audible click. We're good. Flip it over. Take the air hose, push it in until you hear the click. All right, we're good. that's how easy it is to fill that thing up with water one-handed. One of the reasons I bought it, I really like it. I fumbled a little bit with it in the sink. Usually it takes me a little bit less time to do it. But basically, once it's filled up, you just go ahead and pump it a few times. All right, now that we have air, it does take up a big footprint, but you know, it's not going to burst on you. Geigerrig has a bunch of videos that actually shows, you know, like 300-pound guys standing on these things when they're inflated, and, you know, inflating it till it bursts. It'll actually get like maybe 2 or 3 times this size before it pops. But after you pump it up, move it back over here to the sink, go ahead and squeeze the bite valve, and it squirts out water. Puts out a pretty good stream. Pretty happy with it. So you don't have to suck water out, you just shoot it in your mouth. This is also good if you have like any type of you know, cuts or abrasions or something like that you want to clean out before you put any bandages on it or anything like that. Or you have some, you know, sensitive equipment that you need to, you know, rinse off with some water or something like that to clean off if it's got muddy or not. So I really like that. If you need to deflate this bag, it's pretty easy. 2 ways you can go about it. You basically take the pump hose and you can disconnect it from the hose itself, and it will bleed all the air out real quick. Or you can just rotate this nozzle and you can hear all the air coming out. And then I'll just add a little bit of pressure to the bag if the water's not adding enough weight. And then there you go, all the air's out of it. Another thing I really like about this is when it's filled with air, this thing actually kind of stands up inside your pack. Either where you have your hydration, you know, pouch, or if you just have a regular backpack and you throw it in there, it holds up by itself. It does have some little lashing point if you want to put a retention strap on it that they usually have inside the bladder pouches of some of the bigger bags and stuff like that. If you don't want to inflate it with air and you just want to use it like a regular hydration bladder, that is an option, but I really like that about that. So another really cool thing that I really like about this is how easy it is to filter water through this thing. Anybody who's ever been on long hikes or adventure races or been in country and, you know, you're doing those long humps, it's hard to carry a lot of water with you. And most people usually have to like boil water, use iodine, chemicals, you know, those UV sticks and stuff like that. Well, Geigerrig came out with basically a plug-and-play filter. Basically, you just disconnect your hose, like so, and you go ahead and you plug the filter in. This will do, on average, about 50 gallons of water. It'll help with giardia and cryptosporidium. And you basically plug in your drink hose, and now you can open this up, take it down to the river or creek or wherever you have where there's a water source, fill this thing up with, you know, your dirty contaminated water, and then it filters through the filter. You get clean water out of your hose. I really like that. It's very lightweight. To give you guys kind of a size reference, you know, here's my Benchmade Infidel. So it kind of, you know, about the same size. This thing probably weighs like 1/5 of what this knife weighs. So it's really lightweight, doesn't take up a lot of room in the pack. The last thing I want to tell you guys about this is how easy this thing is to clean. After you disconnect everything, you get all the water and the air out, and you open it up, you can turn this thing inside out and throw it in your dishwasher if you want to. I've done it a couple times. It works just fine. There's no problems with it. Half the time, though, I just turn it inside out and take a little Dawn dishwashing antibacterial soap and just kind of wipe it real good and rinse it off, and then I'll fill it with water and flush 100 ounces through the hose to clean it. I'll disconnect. These things just pull straight out, these little nozzles and stuff from the hose, and you can just use a regular hydration hose brush to scrub the inside. Alright, so price point, how much do these things run? Well, the filter by itself, which is sold separately, is $28 through their website. The 100-ounce hydration engine runs $49. They do have a 70-ounce 2-liter engine, and that is $48. So one more dollar, you get 0.3, you know, you get 30 ounces more. You can get them online anywhere. You can just order them straight from the company. I know places like REI have them. One thing you do want to take into consideration is make sure you get the Generation 2. The Generation 2, the connectors are vertical, whereas the Generation 1, they were horizontal, so you want to be careful of that. Other than that, the filter does come with all the attachments to use on a Generation 1 if you need it. Anyway,
Thanks for watching. You guys are probably wondering how I shot this. I actually used my GoPro today because I'm by myself, and I used the basically the chest rig to shoot this video today. So I at least had one hand free. Hope you guys like what you saw here today. If you do, please like and subscribe to our YouTube page. We did start a Facebook page, Single Handed Solutions, where we will post all our updates and photos and all our videos, keep you up to date on what's going on. You guys have a good day, and remember, 3 out of 4 ain't bad.